Hey everybody, welcome back in to Sports Live in the 215. Today we'll discuss the Eagles matchup with the Ravens live from M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday at 4:25. This is a matchup of two of the very best teams in the NFL, and the Eagles will face old friend and former special teams coach John Harbaugh. So that's an interesting thing about this matchup. I mean, he hasn't been the special teams coach in close to 20 years, but it's always interesting when you see one of Andy Reid's former assistants, who's a really successful head coach. That guy just turns out head coaches like it's going out of style. Like he knows how to really develop his assistants, and that's one of the qualities of a good head coach is not only can you develop the players around you, but can you develop the talent on your coaching staff. So that's a testament to Andy. That's a testament to John Harbaugh's work ethic as well. And yeah, this should be an interesting matchup. With that being said, let's get into it. I think a big matchup for that's going to determine the outcome of this game is going to be the Eagles' defensive line against the Ravens' offensive line and Derrick Henry. Henry is second in the NFL in rushing yards with, I want to say 945 or maybe, yeah, actually he is over 1,000. My fault. And he's been one of the best running backs in the NFL since he stepped foot in the league all the way back in 2014. The Eagles will hope to shut him down, and if they want any chance to win this game, they're gonna need to, and you're going to need all 11 guys just swarming to the football whenever you see that the Ravens are either running with Derrick Henry or using Lamar Jackson in the quarterback run game, which he's done so effectively since he came into the league all the way back in 2018. Man, I can't believe I just said all the way back in 2018. That seems like just yesterday. But yeah, it's crazy. Time really does fly in the NFL. Another big key in this game is the Eagles' receivers and tight ends against the Ravens' pass defense. Baltimore is 23rd in the NFL in defending the pass, which is really odd for a team that many of us who grew up in the early 2000s and even before associate with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, like really, really good defenses. So it's going to be interesting to see if the Eagles can exploit that. Yeah, I think Kellen Moore, with that as creative as he is, and Nick Sirianni being in charge of like the game plan and being the great motivator that he is, I feel like he'll get the guys ready to play, and it's gonna be a fun game to watch for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited. One thing to be wary of for the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball is the potential return of star linebacker Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith has been an absolute game wrecker for not just the Ravens, but back when he played with the Bears in 2018 and through, I want to say, through 2021. He was just an absolute beast of a player, and the Eagles offensive line will need to do a fantastic job if they want to shut down number 58. What else? Baltimore's run defense is I want to they're top 5 in the NFL in rush yards allowed, and the Eagles are the number 1 rushing offense in the NFL. So this is it's gonna be certainly gonna be a fun matchup to watch, and one I can't wait to really like dive into on the post game pod. Yeah, it should be interesting. And what another matchup to keep in mind is not only the Eagles offense against the Ravens defense, but the inverse. Baltimore, as I've mentioned, Baltimore is 23rd in the league against the run, whereas Saquon Barkley and the Eagles rushing attack is number 1 in the NFL. So that look for Kellen Moore to maybe start the game with a heavy dose of Saquon Barkley, and then as the Ravens try to continue to stack the box, look for Kellen and Jalen to want to call some play action shots to AJ and potentially Devontae. So that's it should be a really fun matchup to watch. The Ravens passing defense has been particularly porous, which has been a concern of John Harbaugh throughout this entire year. So yeah, let's see if the Eagles can exploit it, and it should be a fun matchup to watch. One thing I did want to mention is how similar both Baltimore and Philly's fan bases seem to be. Like, both those fan bases seem to be like very highly passionate, very intelligent. They both have that blue collar, close knit community. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the how the two cities react, and especially since they're so close to each other. Yeah, like it's just it's something that's gonna be interesting. I've had some beef over this week with everybody over where I go to physical therapy, and I was even joking with my personal trainer. I was like, you guys are dead to me this week. Or that was actually my physical therapist, but yeah, it was all in good fun. Yeah, but that's just the nature of when you play someone who's not necessarily in a conference, but their like their city is just kind of a stone's throw away. It's just like a drive over the turnpike. So this should be it should be a very very exciting matchup. And the Eagles and Ravens over the past 16 years have been winningest, two of the winningest franchises in the National Football League. I'm not sure where they rank, but they've got to both be top five. At least I would think so. But yeah, like it's just two model organizations, two great fan bases, um, two fantastic quarterbacks, two offenses with weapons galore, two of the best running backs in pro football. I mean, what more could you want? Um, yeah, this is gonna be quite the matchup. Is it Sunday at 4:25 already? Like I'm ready to go, and I know that Ravens fan base is ready to go, and they're charged up. I would not be surprised if some of them are like tailgating as early as late tonight to get ready for this game, and it's gonna be a fun one. I believe it could. I believe it will potentially be a Super Bowl preview. Um, maybe the Ravens will finally dethrone the Chiefs in the AFC Championship. Um, but obviously there are 7 more games to go. You can't necessarily, in the Ravens case, you can't count your chickens before they hatch. But yeah, it should be interesting as we head into December. We head kind of into that stretch run. Um, she yeah, I'm very very intrigued by a lot of things in this matchup, and I just, like I said, I can't wait for Sunday. It's gonna be a brawl. Like these two teams both are proficient in running the football. Both want to punch their opponent in the face, and you know the old saying, styles make fights. So th- this uh this fight certainly is it's certainly looking like an interesting one. I'm very excited to see kind of how it plays out, and we're we're all gonna I believe we're gonna witness the game of the year on Sunday. I cannot wait. My only critique is I would have put this game on Sunday night. I know the NFL wants to get every team on prime time, but the, these are two of the very best teams in the NFL, and and you only get NFC East versus AFC North once every 4 years, and to have two of the best teams in pro football, that's a once every 4 year opportunity. I'm surprised. Like I'm very surprised the NFL did not take advantage of it. You know them; they always want to make the most amount of money, and I just don't know if that um if that Broncos Browns game will do that for them. But hopefully the Eagles Ravens game is game of the year and lives up to the hype. And on Monday morning, I'll wake up and I'll be friends with all my friends who are Ravens fans again. But uh, between the hours of 4:25 and like 7:30, they're all we we are we do not know each other. We are not friends. this is just a this is not even a relationship. But no, I'm kidding. Yeah, like that's part of the fun of when you have two places that are so close together. You get fan bases that are um who have that same kind of blue collar mentality, that like that passion level, and it comes out in the players, and that's why the Eagles and the Ravens are two of the best teams in pro football, because they play with the same passion that their fans have, and it just it comes out in spades for both teams. One thing I found out that was pretty interesting on the Eagle Eye podcast. Shout out to Dave Zangaro and Ruben Frank. Is that John Harbaugh, the Ravens coach, was actually one of, if not the first, like CEO head coaches, like one of the first kind of overseers that didn't necessarily call plays on one side of the ball or the other. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little factoid. Yeah, and another matchup for me to watch is AJ Brown against Marlon Humphrey, and then Devontae Smith against Nate Wiggins. Um, Wiggins has struggled a little bit in his rookie year, and if Devontae plays, the matchup with Devontae Smith would be a huge test for the rookie. And like all Eagles fans, I'm personally so glad we got Quinyon Mitchell uh, locking down that right side next to Darius Slay. We'll wait to see if Darius Slay is good to go for this game. As of right now, I'm not sure what the word is on him, but um, I'll probably find that out before I do my quick hits episode tomorrow, and I'll get that information to you. Um, yeah, I think I think Quinyon Mitchell has a chance to be the best corner in the NFL in a year or two. Give it 12 to 24 months, and you're going to be talking about a guy who's considered the best corner in the NFL. And I believe we already have the best slot corner in Cooper DeJean. Um, he is perfect for Vic Fangio's defense. He's just kind of that Swiss Army knife, do everything. He can he can run, hit, recover fumbles, get picks, even give you a few good punt returns when Britton Covey was out. So and I know Vic didn't want him on punt because he didn't want him to get himself hurt for defense. But he was a great punt returner when he was doing it on a part-time basis. But now that we have Britton Covey back, he can kind of focus all his energy on locking down Mark Andrews or whoever's in the slot. So that's gonna be a really key thing to get Coop back focusing on defense exclusively. And I'm so excited to see how this game shakes out. And yeah, thank you guys for listening to the content. And as always, go Birds.